Hey everyone, welcome to another Tsundoku review. This time I have picked Train Man, kind of by popular demand. You guys have requested it. Also because I've loved Train Man ever since I first read it. These were the first volumes that I read. These are published by just regular Viz Media. There's 3, which is kind of cool. And then recently, I posted in a video, I found this. This is Train Man. This is more of a Shojo take on the Train Man story, published by Del Rey, or what is now known as Kodansha. But regardless, the story of Train Man, whether you're looking at the live-action movie, one of the manga adaptations, I believe there's a novel out. The story is a man, 22, 23 years old. He's on a train. There's a drunk bum guy trying to start crap with a bunch of women, and so he stands up and he's like, hey, don't behave that way, and he basically just interrupts the drunk guy enough that like the actual train police people can come and like apprehend him. Regardless, he is revered as a hero to these women, and one is a particularly young and attractive lass. So they all are really excited, and he's like, no, because he's this nerd, like, otaku, antisocial guy. And he doesn't want any recognition, he just felt like he had to do the right thing because he reads manga and watches anime, and that's like what the heroes do, right? So he jumps up and tells the guy, cut it out. The guy stops, he gets apprehended, the girls want to thank him, and so the one girl particularly, later on gets his address, sends him a bunch of, like, really fancy teacups. The whole thing, though, is taking place through an internet forum, I believe called, like, 2channel or something like that. In Japan, it's basically for otaku, and the guy is posting, hey guys, guess what I just did, it was really crazy. And then later on, when he gets the teacups, hey, this girl just sent me the teacups, and they're like, wow, that's really cool. And the other anonymous users on the forum, and he's like, what should I do? And they're like, hey, wait, first check out the inscription to see if where the teacups came from. And they came from like France or Italy, I think France. They're like Hermes brand, Hermes, French. And so they, on the forum, the protagonist is known as Train Man, and the girl is named as Hermes, or what they call her. And the story kind of just goes from there. Because he's so socially awkward, he wants to ask her out, but he doesn't know how, and so he's typing on the forum, where do I go, how do I dress, how do I act, and they give him information, and I don't want to ruin the ending of the plot, but it progresses to a point where the story concludes, and it's the point is that the events are actually based on a real forum. The real Train Man, well, I mean, none of this has been confirmed. The real Train Man, we don't know if he exists. Someone existed, and we don't know if the story was true, but they took pieces from the forum and put them in the book. So, this is written by, or it's illustrated by, Hidenori Hara, and he does an excellent job. The panels are extraordinarily complex, especially later on in the series, and there's a line between what is actually going on in the story and at the same time, what the users of the forum are doing and how they're reacting. So it's done really well in this particular set of 3 manga, and I loved it. This I would give an 8 out of 10. The story is good. It's cool that it could potentially be a true story. The art isn't amazing. It is decently detailed. It's kind of like old school art. The guys kind of remind me of like Lupin III. But it's good for what it is. I really, truly enjoyed it, and I thought it did really well. Then I read, this is the Train Man, the Shojo version, and it's just a one-shot. This is all there was, and I picked it up because I was interested and I really liked the other one. However, this take on it is not particularly my cup of tea. The art I thought was obviously less detailed. Definitely more of that shoujo style, screen tone, giant eyeballs for no reason. Which has its place. I'm not knocking shoujo. I like a lot of shoujo titles. However, I preferred the, not really shonen, but just the regular version of Train Man. It wasn't really geared to a particular audience. I will say that this does not have as much of like internet reference. There's not a lot of in this story, in the larger story, so many times the other characters, the other anonymous users on the forums, I mean, they have their backstory, and it doesn't really go into it, but you kind of get to learn the personality of the user that's been typing, and they've all got little pictures. In this one, there's no pictures of the other characters. They're just random words, sentences being yelled at Train Man throughout the entire thing. I don't think it was done as well, and it could be because I read this one first that I was biased. It could be because it was the shoujo art that I liked less. It could be because the story wasn't as long and I thought they rushed it, especially knowing a longer version of the story first. But I would give this one maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10. The story is cool. The idea of Train Man is cool, and that's the whole point. Train Man is a cool character. There's a lot of... That aside, for the manga, now my personal take, a little bit biased. The problem that I had with the Train Man story as a whole, not of one manga or the other, but the idea of Train Man is that this guy, this otaku guy, like I am, changes himself and gets a haircut, new clothes, and now he has to walk a different way and say different things, and he changes himself for this girl. Which, in Japanese culture, is awesome. Like, it's revered because the otaku culture is looked down upon. And it's looked down upon here, but it's almost like an outcast. It's almost like, don't talk to those guys, they're weird. And so for him to kind of like grow up in a sense and leave that stuff behind and become a more productive member of society, get the girlfriend, have fun, like treat himself better is cool for Japan. My Westerner influence says no, that's bad. Because he was this way, and he's like changing himself to be that way. And I don't know what your take on it is. So if any of you have read Train Man, if you know the story, please let me know what you think in regards to that. But regardless, I did like it a lot. 8 out of 10. 6 out of 5 out of 10. I really didn't like it. I didn't like that one at all. But I mean. So, there we go. Cool. Hope you guys had fun. Train Man. Don't really have anything else to say. Stay tuned, I guess. Keep hanging out. We've got a lot of the library toys left. Got a couple more unboxings. I just got some from Amazon the other day. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. See you guys later.